Smugglers Cove.
Well,
yeah.
Aliens and Earthlings.
Welcome back to another episode of Smugglers Cove.
I'm Kutzky the Space Pimp.
And I'm Tony Tallboy, and today we're going to be starting off with something a little bit different. Caleb here is going to show you how we choose the intros. You might have noticed when the intro's playing, there's usually some weird animal sound in the background, and that's due to Caleb reading Animal Tarot, and he's going to demonstrate that for you now, and we're going to get this show on the road, roll-a-roo.
Mm-hmm. But first things first.
First things first, yeah. It's time to light something.
So, as Tony mentioned, the intro music is all done by us. Just little riffs on the various instruments. You can't see them right now, but bass guitar, electric guitar, there's a keyboard in the closet. You might be able to see the amps on the side. I think you can, but anyways, so our first one, I don't know, guessed would put an animal yelling in the background and then record some slide guitar. I'm pointing, you can't even see that either, but we got lap steel as well, so had the animal calls in the back and the lap steel over it. That was kind of funny, and then just repeated the process with every episode. Then I was like, I could make this even cooler and pick the animals by fate. I have these animal tarot cards here. So Dr. Stephen D. Farmer is the author of these tarot cards, designer, something like that. So if any of y'all don't know how tarot card works, I'm not going to give you a whole crash course, but it works on the principle of random, or the principle of synchronicity, coincidence, something like this. Typically you think of a question, and then you shuffle the cards and you pull a card, and that card will give you guidance on the answer to that question. That's the pretty fucking basic Coles note on it. These cards are, well, they're about each animal, and each animal has kind of attributes to it that can reflect ways to behave that may help you in resolving your problems. So, I don't know, example, like a squirrel, be like, store your nuts away. Kind of save your pennies, pinch your pennies, shit like this. And so I guess basically a squirrel would tell you to save money if you had a problem, and it, presumably related to somehow saving your energies, conserving your energies, yada yada yada. So, I think I've said enough. Basically what I do is I just shuffle. I typically wait till one falls out, and the one that falls out, well, that one was kind of flapping out, so we'll do this guy. Fucking platypus. So,
Really?
I don't even know what kind of sound platypus makes.
I really don't know, like, they must. I know that giraffes don't have vocal cords, so I'm kind of worried that that's in the deck, but...
Well, because when I got the squid one, squid, we don't know what the fuck this sound, or I got octopus. Mm-hmm. When I looked up octopus sounds, it was just like them splashing in the water, like being pushed in the water. It's not actually a sound, it's just like a fucking object being dropped into water. Living object. And not much of an object. But
super smart.
I think this will be basically like computerized, because that's what I use for this. The octopus, I found giant squid sounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Presuming it's from...
If not, I mean, you could just mix a beaver with a duck.
A beaver with... I could, but the cats can see this right now. I'll just go look up platypus sounds. There's new Tom Knox footage. God damn. Fuck off. PLATYPUS. Platypus controlling me? What the fuck is this? Platypus sound. Here we are.
That's adorable. Mm-hmm. So you've already heard this sound. Now you'll know where we got it from.
Mm-hmm. You'll be hearing it before this episode, as we finish them up in there. We record them afterwards.
Yeah, we try to anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, there it is. I guess I'll read the meaning.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great way to start off the show.
So, it says, stop complaining and focus your attention on the blessings in your life. I was complaining a lot this weekend, so this is on the fucking nose for me.
Yeah, I had an instance where I complained this weekend where I think I was just too focused on what I wanted and not... Like, I was setting unrealistic expectations, and I ended up being in a sour mood, and then I realized later, it's like, well, I should have, I knew how the situation was going to turn out anyway, or at least had an idea, and I, for some reason, still tried to impose my will on it, and ended up grumpy, so, like, stop complaining, I guess, is...
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. I did everything exactly that way, too. It didn't fucking work out. Well, I mean, it worked, but yeah, it made things definitely stressful, and I'm gonna see what the aftermath brings. So, Platypus, complaining about this or that is a way to blow off steam, which can be healthy to a degree, but ultimately isn't very helpful for you or anyone around you. Lift yourself up no matter what your present life circumstances are. Face the day head on and notice which thoughts you tend to put most of your attention on. Whatever the nature of those thoughts, the consequences manifest, not only in your feelings, but eventually in the world around you. That is true. Power flows wherever your attention goes. Jesus Christ. Jules, you love that one. He says, where your attention goes, power flows, or something like this. Power flows where your attention goes. Basically, it's not the first time I fucking heard these words. Power flows wherever your attention goes. Power is life force or spirit. When your attention is focused on negative thoughts, negative experiences result. This is a thing we see all the time. Negative people, fucking negative experiences.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking easy to witness and said. Anyways, yeah, so when your attention is focused on negative thoughts, negative experiences result. So whenever you notice yourself repeatedly attending to negative thoughts, practice shifting your attention to thoughts of gratitude. Consider the blessings in your life. What are the things that make you happy? Doing Smugglers Cove.
Absolutely, yeah.
You may find discrepancies between what makes you happy and what you're doing in your life right now. If that's the case, choose to alter one or the other. Either change your life and start doing what makes you happy, or change your thinking to enjoy whatever is happening in the moment. It's up to you. It has a list of associations down here at the bottom. Sensitivity, grounded, clairsentience, inquisitiveness, uniqueness, adaptability, flexibility, shyness, grooming, stability, inner sight, sense of humor. So,
but could you repeat that, but faster?
Okay. Sensitivity, grounded, clairsentience, inquisitiveness, uniqueness, adaptability, flexibility, shyness, grooming, stability, inner sight, sense of humor.
Now do it in a silly voice.
Sensitivity, grounding, clairsentience, inquisitiveness, uniqueness, adaptability, flexibility, shyness, grooming, stability, and inner sight and sense of humor.
Thank you. I never expected to hear such a noise come out of you, and I'm exceedingly pleased now.
You're welcome.
So there you have it. We're gonna be you already know. I guess now you know that platypus is the sound you heard at the beginning of the episode, and we're going to continue on our way and see what Krista Brown has to offer us on this wonderful rendition. Rendition?
Rendition?
Not rendition. Mm. No, iteration. This wonderful iteration of Smugglers Cove.
There we go. I'm just going to pack these up here. Okay, cool. Alright. Would you care to read this blurb for us, Tony?
I absolutely would, sir.
This is our segment today. Will be on
the challenging ethical questions to consider. The philosophical subtopic of ethics involves weighing between challenging scenarios and deciding which option is morally right. The challenges raised within ethics can often be incredibly challenging to sort out, and they are ones that you may run into in life. Remember, even if someone sees a topic differently than you do, it's essential to be respectful and have conversations without getting vertigo from the dizzying heights of your moral ground. Yeah, Krista. I feel like she should have dealt with this one first.
Dizzying heights of your moral liberal ground. Your liberal ground?
Liberal, yeah.
All right.
Why anyway, yeah.
Oh, she's quoting Schitt's Creek. Good God.
Makes sense.
Alright. Number 182. Is it wrong to kill one person if it might save the lives of hundreds of others? No.
I mean, at that point you're asking, like, is it okay to assassinate Hitler?
Mm-hmm.
I would say yeah.
Yeah. Because I do think that inevitably another Hitler would have came along. I always think bad things happen for a reason, just like good things.
I think everything happens for a reason, but that doesn't mean you should stop killing Hitlers.
No, that's fair.
Like a weed pops up around your house for a reason. Perhaps it's to teach you dedication and not harmony. You know?
Fair.
I would say, see, the only issue that I take with this is that I find we're dealing...
You find you're never in a scenario where you have to kill a person to save 100?
Well, but that's kind of the opposite of what I'm saying, is you look at social media these days, and that kind of sentiment with a certain former president, I will not name, was really kind of prevalent of, like, not, like, just, oh, he's saying bad things and bad things could happen from what he's saying, someone should take him out kind of idea. And it's not that I disagree with the idea, I just don't like the concept of how many people have access to this idea right now, and how many idiots are just jumping on board and actually just deciding what I believe is the right thing to believe, and that is an absolute. So, yes, also it terrifies me that there are people on the internet that have access to the same kind of concepts that perhaps more stable individuals do.
Yeah. I didn't really even think Barack Obama was all that bad. That's who you were talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My wife was telling me they made an article when Barack Obama got elected, and it was Black Man Gets Nation's Worst Job. I had a good giggle at that. Alright, number 183. We got anything else to say about 182? I think we...
No, I think that one's... it's kind of it's sort of expanding on the trolley concept, and the trolley concept, to me, it always comes down to who am I killing and who am I saving?
Yeah.
Right? But
yeah, that's the one, like, if you got switch tracks.
Yeah, you got to switch tracks. You can either... One's heading towards 5 people, and you can switch to kill one person, but if, like, the idea to... Which was actually a concept that, like, one of the nuances of that question that only recently dawned on me is that if you switch the tracks, you are actively killing the first person, whereas if you do nothing, then you're not involved. Right?
Yeah.
You're killing them with negligence, not actively choosing to kill them. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think I was telling you I was talking to a friend. I added a third perspective. If you were overseeing this, and you can make the choice for the person who is faced with that choice, would you choose to make that choice for them?
Ah. That's interesting.
Humanity. Is that humanity? Humane? I don't know. You're saving them from something that's trying. Shouldering the burden. Number 182. 183. Thank you. That is not 2. Is using Euthanasia to intentionally end a life to prevent further pain and suffering immoral.
Well, if you're using euthanasia to accidentally end a life, you shouldn't have a medical practice.
I'm fine with it.
Growing up, honestly, I like with the raising that I did. I can't quite get the rearing anyway. That I did. I was kind of like upbringing. Thank you. The upbringing that I had. The idea of euthanasia always was like this foul, horrible thing. But honestly, if because the idea that you're taking away power from God, and while I think that it should be on you should choose to decide if you're being euthanized or not. You're not an animal, so it's not like you should have that kind of that agency. I'm not necessarily opposed. Like if you are having a terminal illness, you're not going to get better, and you really are just done with the pain, then I am not against it. Now, what Canada's doing right now is foolish. With basically all you have to say is like, "Oh, I have mental illness," and like you can walk in there. I don't know if it's like
and end your life.
End your life. Oh yeah, no. Like we're gonna have a lot of people just going and ending their lives soon. Because it's like, I'm really sad. Like, well, nothing gets better. This is Canada. Like, well, that's one way to mitigate our health costs.
My man, I am not in disagreement with that. I feel like I'll unpack this a lot. So, the first thing it made me think of is I didn't really ever watch Futurama, but I saw an episode once. Yeah, Suicide Booth, 25 cents. First episode? That was the first episode? Okay, I did not know that. But I always thought that was funny, and I feel like give people the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want. If they want to do that, then so be it. Like, is it wise? Of course not. Like, your life will probably get better. You can do a lot to change your life and fix your life, so is it wise? No. But if... I guess maybe I'd put an age limit on it. Like, you
that's the thing for me is you shouldn't let anyone, like, under the age of 25. Mm-hmm. Like...
Yeah, this is for, like, 40 and above, maybe. 35? 35, 40?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. That's the thing for me is because with a lot of things and a lot of social issues that we have right now, right, you're letting children make life-altering decisions, and it's like, you are too stupid to even know how to get an apartment. Like, you should not be in charge of whether you live or die or not. Like...
Yeah, fair. But I feel like we would... This is me being, like, almost Nazi scientist. I feel like we'd learn a lot from allowing that to just go free range. I don't think it would wind up as, like... It wouldn't be this new craze that just, like...
I think it would be a new craze for a bit.
Yeah, but, like, I'm saying it wouldn't be... Yeah, that's...
It wouldn't be it would be kind of like the services available. We'd lose a few sheep to the slaughter initially, but then we'd... Yeah. It'd die off and people would calm the fuck down with killing themselves.
It'd probably force us to, put some better preventative measures in place, or like...
Or actually deal with mental health issues instead of being like, well, you can kill yourself when you turn 18. Like, fuck.
Everybody who's just prescribed meds is fucking lining up to the booths.
They're just prescribing the booths now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll get better? No? Alright.
How sad are you after this breakup? Really sad. Well, have I got a booth for you?
So, I'm kind of interested in that. I might go. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it also immoral in, I would say, the sense of the Hippocratic Oath, right? To not intentionally do harm on the part of the doctor.
I don't know what you mean, like...
Hippocratic Oath. The doctor swears a Hippocratic Oath that they're not going to harm patients.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Okay. So, how does this play in? I mean, I didn't imagine...
Because killing someone is typically considered harm.
Well, no, they can just give the injection and fucking off to sleep they go.
But that's administering death.
Well, I wasn't imagining it was like a shotgun booth. Like, you get prescribed to a shotgun to the face.
It's the same result.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's like a little prick or a fucking
blow your head off.
Are we given options? Do you
I'm
pay more
I'm
for the
just saying
shotgun?
that, like, the end result is the same. You're dead.
Yeah.
It's still there's still the issue to be raised of if it violates the Hippocratic Oath or not.
I guess to me the needle in the arm is not really violating it because you're not causing harm. Like, yeah, you're ending the life, but I guess I'm taking harm as literal. Like,
well, you're looking at it in
if I fall from a building, and that's the way that we're like prescribing euthanasia as we push our way off a fucking skyscraper, like, I think you're breaching the Hippocratic Oath or whatever the hell it's called. But if you're giving them an injection, it's pretty much the most... I'm sure they can fucking find a pill, too. These idiots got all the fucking pills in the world.
It's true.
Just fucking, figure out how to make Xanax end in the long sleep. Fucking no. I'd be curious to see how that would play out. Is it immoral? I mean, we probably learn enough from it that it would tip the scales.
Well, at the same time, if we believe that killing can be justified, then certainly euthanasia could be justified, and therefore is not immoral.
Yeah, because I really don't think about dogs. We do that with fucking animals all the time, and there is a bit of a parallel. We have no problem when they're in pain, and putting them down is we
do have a problem with
them
them being in pain. That's why we put them down, because we don't want them to suffer.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like we don't have as much contestment against like, oh no, euthanasia is bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
no, like I don't want to see my pet fucking suffer in misery for like 4 more days with me. Like, I'd rather him go out with some dignity. So I've never really ever thought euthanasia was immoral. It was always confusing to me that people even brought it up. Like,
to me, I remember being told, like, when we had a woman whose family came from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And so at some point, like, they would euthanize people when they got too old or too sick, but it wasn't like you have like a say in the matter. It was like you're becoming too much of a burden on the system, therefore like you're getting the needle.
Yeah.
That
Fair.
to me is a bit immoral.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they get to grow up with Peter Pan, so that, you did live a good life.
Peter Pan.
Is he not from the Netherlands? Neverland. Neverland. Sorry.
Did you legitimately, like, was that a bit?
Yeah, that's a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Fucking retard over here.
Well, I didn't know if you meant like it was like an original story. I was like, I'm pretty sure it takes place in London. Like,
thinks Peter Pan fucking hangs out at the coffee shops. So Netherlands is Amsterdam.
Amsterdam is, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not called... Is it still called Netherlands?
It's called the Netherlands, yeah. Growing up, everyone called it Holland, and that's just not what it is.
That's what I was thinking of, Holland.
Netherlands.
Well, there it is. Learn something new every day. Number 184. Should people be allowed to commit medically induced suicide?
So, euthanasia.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
See answer to question 183.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 185. Was former President Harry Truman's decision to drop the atomic bombs unethical? Some argue that it saved many lives by ending the war quicker. Does that change the ethics of killing civilians during a time of war?
Can I take the lead on this one?
Oh, yeah.
So, for one thing, Krista, calm down. And why was former President Harry Truman, like, she's just trying to throw this dead man under the bus. Like, what, you could just say, was it moral or unethical to drop atomic bombs on Japan in World War II? You could say that without, like, I don't know if you're looking for a word count, Krista, but anyway. So, another thing with the atomic bombs is actually, while everyone thinks like it's gung-ho of America, and it probably was, the thing with Japan is that if they'd invaded Japan, Japan had a national defense strategy of like, everyone will fight you. They would have had to have killed like basically like gone into bloody combat with like women and children and men and just like wrecked, like just destroyed civilians with military equipment because Japan was not going to give up. Mm-hmm. So while I'm not in favor of atomic holocaust or nuclear holocaust, like it was
atomic bombs, period.
I think it happened because, you know, it had to happen. Because, I mean, good luck getting... The Japanese had a tradition of killing themselves when they surrender or are captured. I'm pretty sure, like, that's not someone you... like, they're not a nation that bluffs, you know? like, they're the ones that will, like, throw their... like, everything on the table.
When the context is probed more, there's fucking clear indications that suggest this is not as crazy.
You don't want to get in a pissing contest with Japan when it comes to human suffering, because they will just push themselves through it. Like, they are such an honor-driven society that it's... I mean, well, suicide is a very common thing in that culture, and for what we would consider, like just...
Is that they have the suicide forest?
Yeah, they have a literal forest devoted to suicide because people just go there and hang themselves with trees.
Thank you, Vice. That's how I learned about that.
That's like terrifying. Again, I'm not glorifying the idea of atomic bombs, but no. I think if it stopped, but yeah, apparently it did stop them from having to kill way more civilians than if they just dropped the bombs.
So there it is to that. I'm going to go, not necessarily side tangent, but just add to this that war, to me, war is bad.
Hot take.
War's always fucked. Like, when we stop having wars, then, okay, good. And that's another obvious statement. But what I'm kind of trying to say is that when it comes to war, shit gets fucked. And dropping atomic bombs is part of the shit getting fucked of war. Mm-hmm. It breeds that craziness. And so...
Well, it's constant escalation, right? And retaliation. And prevention.
Exactly. So it's like, you're bound to have situations like these. Are they fucking unethical? I mean, of course, but we didn't know any better to not do that at the time.
Well, but that's the thing is that, but dropping those bombs... as much as it leveled two cities and killed a lot of people, it also saved, like I said, a lot of lives because Japan would have forced their civilians to fight tooth and nail against military equipped personnel, right? That's terrifying.
My dad always tells me this famous quote. There's this guy in Hiroshima. It was the day the bomb dropped. And he's looking up at the sky, and the quote goes, "What the fuck is that?"
Your dad told you that one?
Yeah. I love you, Dad.
So I have another quote that's a bit more serious, but it comes from MASH. They're in the OR, and Pierce says... Someone says war is hell, and he says, no, war is war and hell is hell, and of the two, war is much worse. And Father Mulcahy says, how is that, Hawkeye? And Pierce says, Father, who goes to hell? Well, sinners, I believe. Right, sinners. There's no innocent people in hell. In war, you have innocent people. So therefore, war is objectively worse than hell, because you can't go to hell if you're innocent. You go to, I
perfect.
This,
on the nose.
No, I really, well, that's, if you haven't watched Smash, you should. But yeah, war is just wretched. It's absolutely terrifying, the ability that humans have to destroy and hurt one another. And who gets caught in the crossfire, right? Like, who gets hurt it's not always the generals or the leaders of the country. It's the civilians ultimately that have to suffer.
This is the truth. You need to know your dark in order to know your light, and I think that's part of the art of war, is teaching us our destructive capabilities to possibly encourage our to encourage our creative capabilities. Number 186, is bribery ever acceptable or ethical?
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a corrupt system, right? Like, if you're the one be like, no, bribe me, then no, right? But if you're trying, like, say you're trying to escape a country,
yeah,
would you say it's unethical to bribe a guard, or are you going to sit there in like going through the red tape of a bureaucracy that is collapsing around you due to terrorist attacks? Like, no, we have to stand in line, dear. Like, no, like, your mother's jewelry can get us out of the country. Use the jewelry. Like, I think, like,
yeah.
And it depends, like, how corrupt your system is honestly, like, I honestly think that bribery, if that's how you can get things, like, there are certain things in my life, dealing with the government, dealing with the government, if I could just bribe them, like, if I could get, certain things back into my life just by slipping like $200 under the table to an NB service employee, like, go have a drink, like, get me my shit, like.
So if bribery is fairly priced, then it's not only acceptable, it's highly ethical.
Well, if your system is inherently like slow moving and inefficient, then bribery is a way to like fucking grease the wheels.
Yeah.
Now, I think, obviously there's like people being wealthy and getting special kickbacks and privileges is an inherent problem itself. But if you have really shitty broken systems because the government is just too controlling or just wants things to move slow so that they can operate on their time and, not serve the people they're elected to serve, then, bribery. I don't think that's unethical.
No, I really like your answer. That wasn't even on my radar. You kind of caught me out of left field, but I agreed with everything you did.
Bribery being ethical?
Yeah, you painted a picture where it was like, because when I read this, I was like, I don't care. If you're gonna, like, if you're in a situation and you're forced to give up a bribe, like, I don't know, some shit in Mexico, I'm just pulling this off like a loosely.
Like I said, if you're asking for a bribe,
yeah,
you're probably not a good person. But if you're just trying to get through your day or get through life, then
yeah, basically, I'm just gonna reword your really good answer and fuck it up. Nailed it, Tony. Nailed it.
Thank you.
All right. Number 187. If your friend's significant other drinks too much alcohol and flirts with you, should you tell your friend about it and probably hurt them with the knowledge, or wait and see if she puts out next... Wait, what the heck? Or wait and see if it was a one-time thing and won't ever happen again? I might speculate she's pulling from some personal experience with this one.
Either she's been really hurt, or she has done she's really looking to figure out if she should be forgiven or not.
Honestly, I was thinking she got flirted with, but...
I think a lot of people flirt with Does Grass Feel Pain woman?
Well, it was just one time, and since her number of experiences are so limited and clearly revolve around a certain political belief, I'd say that this sticks out to her.
Yeah, the first time she got flirted with, I bet it does.
Yeah. So, if it was me, I would probably tell... if it was me, I'd tell my fucking friend. And I wouldn't really... This probably hurt them with the knowledge. Like, that's their fucking problem. Like, I don't really... If your girl does this to me, and it's like, dude, your girl did this. Like, to me, that's not a guarantee that that person's gonna be hurt. And if they're hurt, then all the better. Like, figure that shit out. Obviously there might be some... I guess, no, I'm taking that in a weird way. I was gonna say some context where it's, like, more relevant. If flirting, I guess, is pretty straightforward. She flirts with me. What do? I tell my friend or wait and see if it was a one-time thing and won't ever happen again? I guess just fucking tell him. And also, not telling him is completely fine too, because I don't care about any of that. Like,
to me, so seeing as I have a little bit of experience with drunken shenanigans, like sometimes you just do things that, you know, are considered really bad in a relationship, right? Like someone, and I'm not speaking for me doing it, but like people have, you know, like I've been drinking and people's, wives or whatever. I mean, there was an instance where I should have probably, I just didn't want to mess with it anyway. I was just like, I'm just going to not feed into your wife's bullshit.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do things when you're drunk that it's really like, so long, I think it's more like, did your friend turn them down? Yeah. Okay, well then it's probably better that she flirts with your friend then, who's going to be like, Liza, you're just drunk, come on. Like, John's at home, you know.
Very good.
Because you're drunk, and the thing is like, yeah, you have to be careful about like losing control and whatnot, and you know, it's really only going to reflect poorly on her. Or I'm using her just, you know, for the
sake of brevity. We're fucking straight men, so speak with
my hypothetical boyfriend Raul.
Because to me, this question, if they're drunk, like, fucking whatever, brush it off. If they were sober, then it's definitely tell my friend. And
yeah, that's the thing, is because drunk you can do a lot of things and you're just acting on the moment, and it kind of like to you don't drink to get smarter, and you don't do drugs for them not to affect you. You know what I mean? Like, no one says like, let's drink and get uptight. Right? Like you drink to relax, to party, to cut loose. And it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of part of the drinking culture from what I've seen. It's like you get drunk and do stupid shit, and then typically you're covered in shame in the morning, and then you drink again to get over it and masturbate a bunch. But hey, like, if that's anyone else's.
Been there. Yeah, that works.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is again, like, I would rather my girlfriend flirt with friends than flirt with randos who are going to take advantage.
Yeah.
Right? Mind you, that would A, require me to have a girlfriend, and B, require me to have friends, but
yeah, I don't like you at all.
When I have to,
this is just for the fucking internet.
This is purely business relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. But you know, it's, don't get me wrong, in a perfect world my hypothetical girlfriend doesn't flirt with anybody while she's drinking.
Yeah.
Or at all. Yeah. But it also, flirting is also a very general term. Like, is a wink a flirt, or like a brush on the arm a flirt?
Yeah, because I was doing this too. I was going to semantics, but like, I'm trying to be like, alright, the flirt, she's saying flirting, so let's assume she's implying something that's very much crossing the line or very close to that.
See, to me that's a come on.
Yeah, I know.
Semantics, yeah.
Because, it could be like she winks at you. Like, do you tell your friend that she winked at you? Like, no, shut the fuck up, you idiot. Like, she winked at you.
All you're doing at that point is just putting a relationship in jeopardy because you're a prude.
Yeah, and, you know, possibly, right? Because the friend, I don't like that she assumes that your friend's so fucking tender that he's hurt with the knowledge.
Yeah. But also I think that if
you should be appreciative if it was like a serious enough thing to be brought forth, and it was something that he, by some fucking stroke of luck, hasn't realized was within his significant other, then you're just, you know, you're doing a good deed, and therefore he shouldn't be hurt by that. Like, he's not actually hurt by your words. He's hurt by the fact that he's...
If he gets mad at you, then it's kind of a shoot the messenger situation, in which case he might not, you know, be the best fit for a friend anyway.
He duped himself in this scenario and thought that what something wasn't actually what it was. And
I think, too, if someone's blackout... Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I'm kind of finished that, you know. If he's not, you know, got a good measure on his girl, this fits for both sexes. I don't know why we need to say this, but Either or, if they don't have a good measure on their partner, and it turns out that their partner is something that they didn't understand or notice, and you bring that to light to them, like, they will feel bad because they've misconceived this person. They thought they were something else. Mm-hmm. But you didn't hurt them. They kind of hurt themselves in that situation. Mm-hmm. Hurt's always 50-50, so yeah, that partner's actions did hurt that person as well, but they also hurt themselves by being fucking naive. So you don't have any, like, onus on the hurt that's being created in this situation. Mm-hmm. That's all on those two. So I don't like that part of this, because you are not hurting them. They are hurting themselves, and you're, if anything, just helping a healing process begin.
I think, too, it matters, because she says too much alcohol.
Yeah.
Now, again, as someone with a little bit of experience with too much alcohol is also a spectrum.
Yeah.
Because are you talking shit-faced, plastered, hammered, destroyed, rode off? Mm-hmm. Because if she's so drunk that...
if she's pissing herself while she's trying to ask you to come home with her, like...
then she's obviously just, like, delirious. You know, like, that's more of a laughing about it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If she drinks too much and she kind of loses control, then that's something that she's going to have to wear on her heart.
Yeah.
You know, and have to decide if she mentioned it or not, or if she... Personally, what I would say is, like, don't chance ruining your relationship over one stupid decision that might be outside the boundary of your typical behavior. Yeah. Just learn from your behavior and say, okay, like, mm-hmm. that can't happen again, and actually take steps to, you know, maybe look at why are you... Is there something wrong with your relationship that you need to fix? Are you not getting enough attention? Do you feel like you're not being heard? What are you trying to do with alcohol? Why did you feel the need to drink that much? Because sometimes it does come down to you're not really attracted to other people. It's mm-hmm. an expression of discomfort or wanting that comes out in the form of flirting. Mm-hmm. That, like, you could be, you know, for all intents and purposes, really happy with your partner, mm-hmm. but you drink too much and it's like, oh, hey, you know, like, so obviously there's a need that is not being met because you're not content.
Yeah.
Especially if you're drinking too much. Typically, if you're drinking too much, then
Absolutely.
you're not absolutely healthy at that point.
Mm-hmm. So
there's something going on.
Yeah. So there it is. There's a lot of the problem is revolving around alcohol here, and not necessarily the flirting.
Well, I think the flirting is an extension of the drinking too much, because obviously there's something you're trying to correct inside yourself. Like, I think it's just an extension, but yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, like, because if it's not saying... If flirting isn't something you would do typically without the alcohol, sometimes you just do stupid shit on alcohol. Mm-hmm. Like, people will say, oh, listen to drunk people when they talk, they're the most honest. That's not always the case at all. Like, you really have to weigh the situation, because you can have drunk people that act like fucking toddlers.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't mean that they're being honest. It means that they're being impulsive and they're down to their lizard brain cells. Like, you know?
You could play this situation like Miss Goody Two-Shoes goes out and has like 3 drinks and inevitably gets fucking shit-faced because she doesn't, you know, drink often, and then she winds up being, you know, extra flirty. I don't feel like that's... You know, the alcohol there is not necessarily the issue. It's just she's not used to the sauce and gets pretty lost, and then...
Well, I've had a number of girls be like, oh, you know, I got really drunk in college and made out with my friend. Like, that's apparently something women do when they get drunk at some point in their process of transformation, is making out with their friends. Doesn't, you know, and these are women that, well, one girlfriend I had was a bisexual, the other one was not.
Yeah.
But, like... Oh, you made out with you. It's kind of like, oh, you're gay now. Like, no, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? Like, you do stupid shit when you're drunk. Sometimes it's impulsive. Sometimes, you know, it's nothing to ruin your life over. Drinking will ruin your life if you can't get it under control. But,
yeah. I think we answered every fucking angle of this question.
I think we really did. Also, Krista, you either are a bad friend or a bad partner.
Yeah.
Is what really, I think, is the answer to this question.
You might need to get out more, or you might need to stay in more.
Get out more, get out less. Get better at writing. Practice
more
that.
Details. Yeah, the writing is not doing yet. The biggest service. Learn. Anyways, 188. Is eating animals unethical or not?
No.
not unethical. Yeah.
I would say that eating animals, no, not at all. No matter what you come at it from, whether it's a religious perspective or an atheistic perspective, either you are from a Christian. I won't say Christian. To me, from my upbringing, Christian perspective, we are put on the earth and have stewardship over the earth, and to eat and to be resourceful. Yeah. To be good stewards, right?
Yeah.
I think you could argue it's unethical to eat factory farmed food.
That's exactly where my mind went.
That's it's more ethical it's more an issue of how are the animals raised and slaughtered than it is whether we're eating animals or not.
Yeah.
So eating animals unethical? No. Eating animals that are, in a cage and bred until they're fed until their knees break and they can't walk and are covered in mites and disease.
KFC.
Then, absolutely, yeah. I think that's unethical. But if you're just talking about eating animals, then no. And if you're I don't think it's unethical. If you're willing to go vegetarian, good on you. But
So speaking of KFC. We used to go to Toonie Tuesday all the time in high school. Back then it was $2.49. You got 2 pieces of chicken and some fries. So, good deal, whatever. We're there basically every Tuesday. One day we go, my friend gets this, fuck off meal. He gets 2 Toonie Tuesdays, a sandwich, a twisted wrap, and a little snacker. I don't know if you remember the snackers. It's just on a little hot dog bun. And there's just a little kind of chicken tender. Some lettuce.
I would never eat too much KFC.
Okay, so he got all this food and he's eating through it. There's a poutine in the mix there too somewhere.
Of course.
So anyways,
as there should be.
He gets to the snacker. The snacker was the last thing in his fuck off meal, and he takes a bite of it and he's like, "It's fucking cold." We're like, "Dude, of course. It took you 30 minutes to eat all the other shit. The fuck you think? It's gonna be piping hot?" So he's like, "I'm gonna get this bitch." And we're like, "What the fuck?" So we go to leave and he's got the snacker in his hand. And as we're leaving, he's like, "Hey, it's fucking cold." And he fucking throws the snacker. And the gods spoke at this moment because the snacker split in half and it hit 2 employees. Mayo bun to one girl's face, the other chicken tender hit this girl's bosoms and dribbled down. And so we're running, and this is the best, I think. They're like, "Hey, you're not allowed back here till next Tuesday." What the fuck? I think maybe they said not allowed back here for a week, but it was a week?
A week? You just assaulted us.
We only come here on Tuesdays anyways.
Yeah.
You're not even making profit out of this. It's not commission based.
What are you doing? You're not allowed back here for a week.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I wasn't
Holy fuck, that's such a talk about lackadaisical punishment for assaulting employees.
She's just got mayo on her face. You're not allowed back here for a week.
I don't want to see you for a week. After that, we welcome your business, and you're kind of cute. Come back and buy a bucket of dead chicken.
Yeah. We'll make sure the snacker's hot next time. Put in a fucking thermal suit for you. Anyways.
Thermal suit?
Yeah. To keep this snacker hot until he's done his 30 minutes worth of eating.
I'm just imagining him in thermal pajamas, but there's a little pouches inside, so he unzips and the poutine's nice and hot and fresh inside this compartment.
Yeah, and he's got the hot paws warmers, and it's just wrapped in there in the fucking wrapping of the snack wrap. Yeah, snacker. I was missing the word. There's ways to do it. They should have had the foresight. Really, next time.
Put some KFC for your complimentary pajamas.
Yeah, thermal blanket with every snacker. Then you don't get hit in the face with a mayo bun.
And then you can't come back for a week.
Yeah.
Pay the toll.
There's another time. I wrote this dude's name on the tray. You remember those whiteout pens?
Yeah.
So I wrote this kid's name. I wrote HTHS, that's the school I went to. And I wrote grade 11, and they called the school, and he got called down to the principal's office. It's just like they thought they were crime solvers. They're like, this idiot wrote his fucking grade and his... Anyways, I got told this story third hand because they're like, yeah, he got called down to the office and came back and he's just all mad, and the teacher's like, why did you get called down to the office? Like, you're a saint, basically. He's like, oh, these kids fuck with me all the time, use my name for shit. It was true. I had his home phone number and his fucking street address memorized. There's a number of cops that know me by his name.
That was that reminds me of that story you told me about when that little spot in Centennial Park, like, oh, none of them signed their last name.
Oh, it's not real snow.
It's not real snow.
Damn it.
Alright, so it's ethical to eat animals?
Yeah, it's just the way that they're slaughtered that is really the issue here. Number 189. Is it ethical to test products on animals?
I think, honestly, when you're talking about, like, there are certain things that just make sense. Like when you, now these things I can't quite, I don't quite come to mind, but
yeah,
you're talking about stuff that's like actually going to better humanity, then I would say, like, unfortunately, yes. It's an unfortunate kind of necessity, because then you're saying, like, well, who are you going to test on? Humans?
Yeah.
And so then you're going to attract people who have no other options, that are either doing it for cash or out of, like, lighter prison sentences. And I mean, like, prisoners are still people.
Yeah.
If you're talking about, like, beauty products and stuff we don't need because of human vanity, then obviously no. Like, don't put lipstick on a rat or moisturizer on it and see if it gives you hives or not. Like, that's not...
Yeah. And there should be a bit of fucking premise of, like, the fact that you need to test this product, because a lot of products can be made with stuff like any of my toothpaste or Sequoias.
Coconut oil?
Yeah, coconut oil. So,
don't, like, just swallow it down.
But that's a perfect example, right? Like, coconut oil, I use that for switching around.
Did you said you washed that out with, did that mean, do you not use, like, shampoo and conditioner? You just use coconut oil?
Just water, coconut oil. I used to make my own shampoo. It was bananas, a couple drops of olive oil, raw egg, some honey, and that was it. I was watching this fucking YouTube video, and this guy had...
peanut butter?
No peanut butter. No. No. It's only if I get gum in it, and I don't chew gum. Yeah, I would use that, and I would shake it up so that it kind of, wasn't just the raw egg plopping on my head.
You'd have to make that every time, right?
Every single time I made a fresh batch, yeah. And I liked it.
Okay.
Then I'd
probably just start drinking the shampoo.
You could. There's nothing fucking bad in there for you. Yeah. And again, I don't need to test that shit on animals. I'd fucking eat all that stuff already. So there's that where it's like, I think you nail it on the head when it's products concerned with vanity or any type of, like, self-care shit. Like, you should be making it full well knowing that there's no need to really test this shit. Yeah,
it's you have a risk. Like, if it's so dangerous, you have to be like, oh no, we had to kill, like,
let's put it on the rat first, just to be sure.
3 chimpanzees had to be euthanized, but the 4th one came out okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh good, and he's got shining locks. Like,
so the fucking hair dye.
Fucking L'Oreal saves the day.
Warning labels on it. 1 out of 4 customers.
How many chimps wept until they figured out the no-tear shampoo? That's my question.
There you go.
I had a friend, I guess, he was a kid. Could have been a lie, I don't know. He's not the most truthful. But anyway, he was saying that when he was a kid, he was in the shower and he was like, L'Oreal Kids No Tears shampoo. He was like, no tears! He, like, shoved it in his eye and started screaming. And honestly, like, it sounds like something I would do, and we both did pretty stupid shit. So, like, I believe it, but like, nope, no tears.
You liars! Crying.
How dare you!
In the shower. I don't trust them. Fucking shouldn't have. Another thing to the hair care, like, the reason I stopped brewing my own shampoo all the time was I would have a banana, I'd just slit like little quarter sections out of it. I mean, I'd use the egg. The other thing I'd read is these witch doctors, you go them to like figure out if you're cursed or not, and they would take an egg and rub it on your head, and then they crack it in a bowl, and the way it would like bubble out, they would read it similar to like a tarot card or like any type of divination, and they'd be able to determine whether you were cursed and what to do. So I kind of took that notion, and so once I would crack the egg and dump it in my shampoo bottle, I'd take the egg shell and rub it on my hair, and it just felt so good. I wasn't really using it for much divining, but
I drank some raw eggs earlier this week.
Yeah?
I think I told you that I was planning on doing that anyway. Man, I don't know why I waited so long. What a tasty snack.
Really?
Well, because I mixed it up kind of like I was making...
Like, did you break the yolk?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mixed it up like it was an omelet, like you were getting ready to make an omelet. Put some pepper and some Cajun spice in there. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Yeah. The texture's a bit to get used to, but I'd rather do that than eat an oyster. So.
Fair. Guess I'm gonna have to try it now. I've never done it. Yeah.
I mean, I looked online. It was I haven't done it again because it was like anywhere between 6 hours and 6 days to find out if you have salmonella poisoning. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until like next week to drink more, just so I'm not
to be certain.
To be certain, because after that I'll just be like, well, raw egg snack for me. Like,
just have an egg in your pocket.
Just, I don't want a snack, Tony. No.
So 2 more things that I'm just gonna finish up on this hair care stuff.
Yeah.
I said I didn't use it for divination, but when I'd be rubbing it on my head, if it cracked really quick. I'd usually be predicting that it would crack quick because I'd been, say, out and about mingling with nefarious characters, or I'd just been going through stressful periods. So it's like there was a correlation I noticed. If I was kind of depressed for a good chunk of that day before I did the shower, it would crack quicker. So that was something I noticed. That's just that. Then the other thing I want to say about when I stopped using the shampoo, it's because I started doing the cold showers. And I say cold showers, I just go cold at the end. Yeah. But the cold for my hair brings it to life. It does for it, similar to what I was achieving with the shampoo. So that's why I kind of switched out of the shampoo. But
it's been a while since I've had a cold shower. I used to do it quite a bit, but I don't mind it every so often, but it's just not something that I've been in the practice of doing recently. I'm more of a hot bath guy kind of right now in my life.
I hated doing the cold shower, because I would do it just full cold shower. I'd jump in, and then I would be dreading having showers. I'm like, this is not conducive.
That's not worth it, right?
Yeah. So the cold at the end is actually quite nice. It's like reverse sauna or whatever the hell the Russians do.
No, that's pretty much sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get all hot and you start sweating, and right after you get beat with the whisks, then you go outside and Andre pours and you're just like, you're just like rubbing this cold water. You're out in the snow and you're just like, and you don't feel alive until you've had a sauna. Like, just going to the body is the best thing.
Have you?
What part of that experience that I just related seemed like I hadn't been doing it?
Because I saw that shit on videos a bunch.
Oh yeah, no, I've done it a couple times.
One here?
At my friend's house.
His dad built it. Yes, yeah. Okay, I remember seeing that. If there was a place in town, I would have went. That's what I was asking. Yeah.
I mean, we could look up. See if there's a bathhouse. A bathhouse is
not that kind of bathhouse.
Yeah, no, not like Jeffrey Dahmer, but like I would totally go if there's because the thing too is like my buddy's dad, he built it like there's rocks and he made it real nice. So like you go and hang out. Well, my experience is I go hang out with a bunch of really cool Russian dudes, drink a bunch of tea, sweat a bunch in the lodge, and then go out, get water poured on you, and it's you only do the water like once, kind of. Yeah. Because it basically like you go in, you get really hot, you go back out, you probably go outside and stand for a minute, then you go back in, you sit down, you drink tea and talk to people more, then you go back in, and it's like kind of like a building up to a climax, and then at the end or close to the end, or then you get the water poured on you. If you get it done after you get the whisks, then that's just
perfect.
Because you get the shit beat out of you with the birch branches, and then you get the water poured on you, and it just brings you to life.
Do you know what the merit is to the whipping with the branches?
I think it's supposed to be like oils in the leaves, and it like exfoliates and kind of like from the way the Russians say is like with the sauna like brings out all the toxins in your blood, and you sweat it all out. And honestly, I think it's absolutely true. Like I feel so much like you sweat so much you're clean. Like you don't smell after the sauna. Like you're sweating so much. I keep telling people like you could jump in a lake and you would not be as wet as if you're in a sauna. Like the first time I went, we got it up to 122 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Yeah, and so you're sitting there, and like the way they do it too is they have wool caps. They'll have wool caps and like I think even wool mittens. Yeah. And like because the caps keep the heat from going to your head. Okay. So you can sit there and it's just you're just streaming water. It's amazing, man.
It's fucking wonderful.
It is absolutely just. I keep needing to message my buddy and see when he's doing it, but his dad's been hunting a lot recently, so
okay.
But it's
well, if you can have +1.
Okay, I was gonna offer you the chance too if I get the chance, because it's the driving that gets us typically, but. Well, I won't say on the podcast where it lives, but we can discuss it. Yeah. It's a bit of a drive, but not too bad.
Fair.
Anyway, so testing on animals. If you're testing a sauna, just kidding, that could be really dangerous for them. But
yeah, I think you had good with your answer of like if it's something that's actually going to better humanity. I feel like it still falls in line with what I said too of like, how is it going to better humanity if you have to fucking make sure a rat doesn't die from it first?
Well, no, exactly. I think we and I just kind of
avant-garde.
We're the same on this one. Yeah, I think there's not much we can elaborate on. No. If you're testing due to vanity, then you should be testing and make natural shit.
You should be able to drink a shampoo, basically. Yeah. Number 190. If someone passed away in a car accident...
So, okay, just to jump back. Yeah. I am tired of shampoos and body washes smelling like you should be able to drink them, and then when you taste them, they do not... Yeah. They are not drinkable. Like, oatmeal and shea butter body wash is not fair to me at all. Like, and I mean, I haven't, like, actually ingested it, but I've definitely licked at it many, many years ago, and I was so disappointed. I was like, this is not fair. You can't just... I just imagine it being like so nice and warm and creamy, and then it's just nothing but chemical taste.
There's something girls used to wear in high school that to me smelled like cream soda, and I basically think the same thing that you think. I would want to drink it, and I imagine it would not taste any. And David's tea is kind of like that. Those fuckers.
Really?
Yeah, I like some of their teas, but I've had some of their teas where it's like, oh man, and then pour myself a cup or make myself a cup, and it's like, where did that go? It's all in the fucking nose. Like, there's none on my tongue here.
Yeah, and that's the strangest thing, because like a lot of like how we taste is through the smell of the food. So it seems weird that when you taste something that smells so good, it doesn't. You know?
Why does this smell like watermelon and not taste like it, David?
Yeah. Get on the ball, science.
Yeah. And David.
Fucking David. David Science.
190?
Yeah, I'd say.
If someone passed away in a car accident and their lungs could save someone's life who would otherwise die before another donor became available, would it be wrong to use the lungs as a transplant if the person who passed was not registered organ donor?
No. Actually, I saw something earlier, not today, but like, I think a week back, that was basically like, what we should do as countries is have an opt-out system, not an opt-in system for organ donating. Because, like, honestly, that way if you have, for some fucking reason, a religious reason to not want to be an organ donor, then you can opt out. But realistically, like, who cares? Like, you know, even if it's an open casket, very few parts of the body are going to be taken off of you, I'm sure, that are going to affect your funeral.
He needed a face transplant.
Well, it looks like John Travolta in here. But really, it's Nicolas Cage. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I feel like this scenario is kind of, maybe not 1 in a million, but it's 1 in 10,000.
Well, I don't think so.
At the exact moment you die, somebody else is in need of your body parts.
Okay, fair enough.
But
I mean, like, I think
it occurs,
should be...
go for it. Like, I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying that, like, it's sort of, like, it's not if you could go back and kill Hitler, would you?
Seems like a movie kind of question.
It's a little bit like that. If the situation arises like...
Also, why does it have to be a car accident?
Well, she's just...
she over-explains a lot of things. Yeah. Like, former President Harrison Truman, like, alright, okay.
Someone in Crocs was... Yeah, if they're in Crocs, I will fucking refuse the lung. Can't be bothered.
Fair enough. They weren't using it right anyway, obviously, if they used their breath to get lungs.
I think I want to breathe that air. You probably heard those tales, though, when there's one famous one, at least, where a buddy got either a heart transplant or something to do with his brain, and then he had developed artistic skills, like he was a painter.
Really?
The guy they got the heart from, or whatever organ, was a painter, and that guy developed painting skills, so that's kind of cool. Mix and match. Everybody's just like chomping at the bit for Tesla's brain.
Yeah, it seems to me is like that. Just seems like for give people motivation to recreate Frankenstein's monster. Like,
imagine Tesla's brain just gets passed down from generation to generation.
That seems like a South Park episode, if ever I've heard one.
Be good for humanity. They should have been thinking. Motherfucker died feeding pigeons. Living in a hotel.
Really?
As far as I've heard from multiple documentaries. 3.
I put it this way. I've seen more Tesla documentaries than I have Kiss concerts.
Have you seen Kiss? We'll explain that joke one episode.
Let me put it this way.
This is not the episode.
It's kind of like imagine I think iterations of the joke should also just be like, I've done this more times than I've climbed Mount Everest. It's just like, so does that mean you're an avid mountaineer, or you've got a bucket list that you just really want to fulfill? Or don't want to fulfill?
Why would you climb Everest that much?
I don't know. People, to me, apparently, like the Everest was getting so busy that people are like sitting in one air level too long, and it's actually getting really dangerous. And there's just like these huge long lines to climb Everest, and to me, that is just like telling me that society has gone too far.
Go climb something else.
Yeah, really. Like, why ever? Like, go climb another mountain. Like, to me, it's. Because you're climbing Everest so you can climb Everest. If you wanted to climb a hard mountain, I'm sure there are other mountains that are hard to climb. You want to go to the highest mountain, okay, great. But, like, you're going to go, like, with a guide. You're doing the highest point. Well, it's not really, I mean, obviously it's still dangerous, but it's about as safe as going up the highest peak you can, you know?
Yeah, you're getting your taste.
There are people that are dead on it. They actually use them as landmarks, but well, I mean, that seems.
When you see Johnny Rotten Bones.
Well, no, but there's like people called like blue boots or red shirt or whatever. Like, fair enough. Like, see you later, there, red boots. Like,
thank you for your service.
Yep.
You live on further than you thought.
I think if I was going to die on Everest, and I was in a spot that I didn't think they could get my body back, I'd try and point the opposite direction of where you're supposed to go.
Just more trails of bodies that way. Like, we gotta fucking move his arms.
One shaking his fist. I just like the idea of having a skeleton frozen in the snow with an afro and like, like.
And eventually it becomes like, alright, when you see the afro with the hands broken off...
And the shit-eating grin.
Yeah. We've lost enough to a soldier. 191?
Yeah.
Is it okay to harm one person if it means protecting others? Is this not basically the fucking same as the other one?
Yeah, go,
Is
yes.
it wrong to kill one person if it might save the lives of hundreds of others? I mean, if it means protecting others, yeah. This is, Kai? The surfer guy who fucking, he was a hobo and he killed it? Yeah. Kai. There we go. He has a pretty good song too. I had it on my iPod.
He got arrested for murder, eh?
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the guy that he attacked, he didn't kill. With the hatchet, he didn't kill that guy.
He fucking killed that guy. For sure he killed that guy.
No, he testified against him in court.
The guy got a hatchet to the back of the head. I'm pretty sure that dude's
I saw
dead.
a picture the other day of a guy whose face was fucked up by a tiger paw. It doesn't mean mean that he's dead.
I was pretty sure that he killed him. Did Kai kill? To 57 years, Jesus.
Yeah, but that's... Well, how many people did Kai kill? What?
This is from season 6 of Vampire Diaries. This is not what the fuck I was looking for. Kai Parker. Joe, by the way, mother of Joe. I think this is...
You need to put up Kai the hobo, the hatchet-wielding hobo. Who did Kai, the hatchet-wielding hobo, kill? Did Kai kill the guy with the hatchet? Very straightforward. That's what we want to know.
Tracked down Kai, and Kai confessed to the killing, alleging that he attacked Galfi in self-defense.
Yeah, that's the one that he got... Well, yeah, because if he had killed the...
This is the other guy.
Yeah, that's the lawyer that he said the dude drugged and sexually assaulted him.
Yeah. Gilroy convicted, first degree murder, New Jersey. Followed from the video. So, I think so. Netflix debuted the documentary.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on there? Oh yeah, his name's Caleb, eh?
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is not really clarifying anything. I thought he killed that guy.
No, he testified against him in court.
McBride twice on the head with the blunt end of the hatchet.
And then he turned it around on the third one.
Okay. There's our man. Dual shock. What the fuck is this? Disable your... Continue without
disable your ad blocker, because that doesn't sound... Let me in. Your parents want you to unlock the door for me.
Stirring up internet, blah blah, while my personality. Yeah, so... Count that day, sent McBride to prison. Alright, well, he couldn't go to prison if he was dead.
Yeah.
That's my verdict.
Your Honor, Caleb residing. Yo, aliens and earthlings, welcome to court. Please rise.
Is he dead? Send him to jail. Why don't we bury him? Send him to jail. I have a point to prove in a future podcast. In a previous podcast. I don't know when in time this is. I'm not of this planet.
I mean... When you're a judge, I'm pretty sure you get to affect the times of law, the law of time anyway, seeing how high and mighty they are.
Mm-hmm. Alright. 192?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we didn't really... Yeah, we did. Because it just said protecting others. I think this would mean more like a vicious person.
If you harm one person, if it means protecting others, then... Well, yeah, because like if you see a guy walking into a mall with a shotgun and you clock him in the jaw,
yeah,
like,
thank you,
yeah, done and done. I don't know what, like, I'm not trying to shit on pacifists, but at the same time, aren't you kind of a shitty person if you don't do anything? Like,
yeah,
that's the thing. Buddhists know how to fight. I don't even think a Buddhist would say no. Like,
I thought they were pacifists.
they tend... Well, any time that I've seen, like, Buddhist protests, they, like, cut themselves with knives and light themselves on fire. I don't know if that counts as pacifism. Like...
So who's pacifists? Like, wimpy hippies?
That's what I would probably... People who have life too good.
Fucking
Or
hippies.
someone like, I don't know, Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven. Before he turns back to the whiskey and avenges his friend's death.
I'm going with you on this. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that movie, but it sounds good. It's a cowboy movie?
Oh yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
sign me up.
I might have a copy. We can watch it sometime.
Okay. Alright, so there it is. Clint Eastwood says it's okay. Yeah.
Clint Eastwood. Yep.
My friend, he hates, like, if I tell him a movie's good, and then it's like, I start describing the movie, he's like, no, I don't want to fucking hear anything, like, don't tell me, and, like, seriously, he gets mad, like, shut the fuck up, man, I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, so, he wanted to borrow a movie, and he was looking through them, and he was looking at Gran Torino. I was like, oh, it's good. I went to go tell him about it, he's like, shut the fuck up. So I was like, okay.
He just wants to go and blind at every movie.
Gave him Gran Torino. He comes to work the next day. He's like, "Man, that fucking movie." He's like, "I had a chick over. She was Korean." I was like, "You told me not to fucking tell you anything about the movie. Like, this is not at all my fucking problem." And it just was hilarious because he was more so giggling at it too. He's like,
Well, I mean,
you know, my own folly.
Koreans don't come out bad in that movie. I don't think. Not well. It's supposed to.
I think just the essence of
I think there's probably some racial language in there too.
yeah.
That would be awkward, especially for a first date. They start dropping the hard G.
Mm-hmm. I'd met some, and this, I don't know, goes for every Asian person, but the one that I met, says the white boy, A, didn't know the word, and like, because I thought it might have been like a slang they use.
I think white racial slurs are probably beneath the notice of, like, I don't want to say authentic Asians, but Asian born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like native Asians. Like, I think you're only really going to get, you know, westernized Asian Americans and whatnot that are going to really consider that word
Fair.
worth their notice because we're beneath them in the eyes of the native born. It's just like, keep talking shit from your shithole.
Yeah. Peasant. I don't understand your poor language.
How many dynasties has America had?
Yeah. Suck it.
Oh, what's that, gunpowder? You're welcome. Parchment? You're welcome.
Egg rolls?
Yeah, it's a lot of good food.
No. I don't like egg rolls.
I like dumplings.
My mom makes pizza rolls.
Are egg rolls kind of like spring rolls?
No, spring rolls are round.
What are egg rolls?
They're rectangle. I know, it's like fucking
Did something get lost in translation?
Well, the outside wrapping is different. Like a spring roll is like rolled, cigar-esque, and so the outside is crispy and kind of flaky. And then an egg roll, it's like this flat square that you kind of wrap over and fold, and you pinch, and so that's why I said it's rectangle, because you're folding a square kind of in half, in essence.
Okay.
Yeah. So, to be technical, you're folding it, the half is in the middle, and then the other halves are split into quarters on the side, and they fold over, making a half. If I'm making sense. So, I do have a story, though, about this. It's kind of funny.
Please do.
My mom makes pizza rolls. I've seen people make them now since, but when I was a kid, nobody I'd ever heard had made these. And so it was just like godsend thing my mom made. It's basically an egg roll filled with pizza toppings. Pepperoni, hamburger, some cheese, pizza sauce.
Not against this.
What's that?
So I'm not against this.
No. Deep fry it. Fucking delicious.
Ooh.
So she would make batches of these, and when I moved to Moncton, of course, showed some of my friends these, and it was just like, when's Deb making pizza rolls? Like when's so
Yeah.
around Christmas time usually was time. Anyways, my buddy and my other buddy, we go home, we're fucking plastered and sleepover or whatever, and we're fishing around in the freezer looking for these pizza rolls. So we find 2 bags. One has 2 and the other has 4. So we're like, all right, there's 3 of us, 2 each. That's perfect. So give them in the oven, cooking, whatever. They're finally ready, and there was always a bitch because you want to eat them right away, but they're too hot. So it'd be like,
it's important to let them rest.
Yeah, but we can't. We're drunk, we're impatient, so we're like trying to nibble. It's too hot, too hot. Fuck it, we have to wait a couple minutes. So
like a dog chewing on food?
Yeah. Spitting it back out, putting it back in, spitting it back out.
Don't judge me.
Anyways, it's all divided in the plates, so it's time to eat them. They're cooled off enough. I take a bite of mine. It's fucking egg roll. My friend takes a bite of his. It's a fucking egg roll. My other friend takes a bite of his. It's a pizza roll. And we're both just staring at him like, you fucker, like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fucking like, and he takes a bite of his other one to check if it's a pizza roll or egg roll. He got 2 pizza rolls. We both took a bite of our other ones, and we both had double egg rolls. Mm-hmm. And he just looks at us, and he's like, just dummies them both. 1 bite each. Because he knew he was in a perilous situation.
I can share, I can double down.
Yeah. You guys ain't getting any of these. Take your fucking shitty egg rolls. Yeah. So, thanks, Mom, for not labeling the bags. Alright. Is being a billionaire in a world where people are starving unethical, or do you feel that it is alright if they worked hard and earned their wealth? We have touched on this.
I think we have. Ultimately, I think what you do with your money is your business. At the same time, I think that if you really care about who you are as a person, you would put... because that's the thing is, being a billionaire and holding on to that, I can understand why you get used to a lifestyle and whatnot, but at the same time, my common sense says, is it really so bad to be a millionaire? If you can donate that money or put it to good use, not necessarily even donate, but to invest in, start your own charity or do good things for people or start up projects. I think that billionaires get a bad rap for a reason, and they deserve it, absolutely.
But not all of them are bad apples.
No.
So, do you know the guy who invented 5-hour energy? You know what 5-hour energy
I know what it is, but I have no idea where you're going, and I'm all ears.
So, there's a documentary about this guy, and he's like your answer to this. Basically, he's got this factory where it's just all new, science that wouldn't get funding. He just funds... maybe not science, more so invention. So they're working on how to figure out to get free energy. They're working on how to get machines that do multiple healthcare procedures in one and make them cheap enough so that they're readily available to, obviously, second world countries, however the fuck you want to term that. So he's a guy where it's that's the wise use of a billionaire. So on this question, it's do I want to eliminate him because of all the other scumbags? Yeah. No, I don't. But how do I get the scumbags to be more like him?
I think, too, with a lot of billionaires, and this is, of course, with no research, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I don't mind admitting that. Yeah. But I think a lot of the issues that comes with people who are billionaires, it comes from inherited wealth. Right? So you get these people who are born on top, they're used to the top, and they look down on others who are not. Why aren't you just a billionaire? Get rich. Yes, that's something that is well within my capacity to do.
Shit, I forgot. Let me get on that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like... Obviously, if it worked properly and they got taxed according to what they made and those taxes went in, at least in Canada, our system would work fine enough that it wouldn't really be an issue. because the amount of taxes that they would pay would give enough money.
You know where I think would really work well?
Denmark.
I think Denmark probably... You don't hear about a lot of douchebag Denmark billionaires.
No. Again, give us your blueprints, Denmark. We're tired of not being Denmark. Everybody's tired of not being Denmark.
We should start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Once the podcast gets big enough, where it's like, fund our trip to Denmark so we can bring back the sacred knowledge.
Yes.
Go live in Denmark for like a month.
Yeah.
Do a podcast from Denmark.
This is our future.
Yeah, you can make it happen. Mm-hmm. It's on you. Mm-hmm. And the billionaires.
All we need is $1 million from each viewer.
So at that point, it kind of makes me think of like a Disney film where like there's just an eccentric billionaire from like an 1890s novel that's just like, they want to see Denmark and they want to do it in the right way and I will further humanity. It's just like we're picked up and then we're on this amazing adventure. A dirigible is involved. Like we're probably going to hike a mountain. Like, I'm totally down if some Disney billionaire wants to come and whisk us away to the magical country that is Denmark. I mean, it might be my option to find a new life, and who knows, maybe we just move the podcast to Denmark.
Make us make all of our dreams happen.
Yeah, money solves everything, is what we're trying to say.
Denmark solves everything.
Denmark, money gets you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we basically correct all the unethical things that have been done with money by using money to go to Denmark.
I can finally afford that $3,000 pipe.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, if I ever buy a $3,000 pipe, I need you to tell me that was bad. like, I need you to be part of the process where either you help me not facilitate that action or just take it from me. Like, you don't need this. If you're buying a $3,000 pipe, you need to be spending your money on something else.
This is fair. I mean, it depends how much money you made that year.
So, to go back a bit more seriously to the question, with starving unethical people, but so I find with a lot of countries, right, their people are starving because their government isn't able to take care of them, and typically those governments are ones that are rife with corruption, and therefore any system you put in place is eventually going to be corrupted by the government or taken advantage of. So then almost billionaires like, well, what am I going to do? Like, do I now have to set up a government? Like, do I have to correct the government in this third world country? Because that is colonialism. You know what I mean? Like, so then in a sense, like, billionaires are kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because in order to use their wealth to, like, maximum efficiency, overthrow the Chechenian government, you know, and like establish one where I don't know anything about Chechnya, so take it with a grain of salt. But I just didn't want to go with an African country because I didn't want to be insensitive. I wanted to be mindful of their culture. But
could just said Mexico.
So there's a meme I used to have, and it was like if you ever feel useless, remember Mexico has a government.
I'm doing okay.
I'm doing fine.
My day just.
But yeah, basically, like, there's only so much billionaires can do too. But I think, you know,
the starving stuff, it kind of needs to be handled by the fucking nation.
Well, and if the military is showing up and taking the food packages, right? Like, you really have to count on the benevolence of obviously corrupt individuals.
Why does the military want Ritz crackers?
Because they're probably not the best either.
What do you send over there?
I don't send shit.
The
most I did, it was like those Good Samaritan boxes from Christmas. Mm-hmm. That was the most.
When I was a kid, my mom would buy French string beans in a can. Disgusting.
Pardon me. Yeah, and send them over?
Well, it's getting there. Vicariously, she did. I hated them. So when I saw them come into the house after grocery shopping, I'd wait till, you know, she was asleep or something. I'd go take all the French string beans and would hide them. And so when it came time for school drives, like we'd have the canned drives for non-perishable foods, I'd be showing up with like fucking 10 cans of string beans. And fortunately, my mom would forget. Like, it wouldn't be a thing. Be like, oh, we really should have string beans for supper. Like,
which tells me she probably shouldn't have been buying them anyway.
No, she shouldn't have. Like, just on the pure ethics alone, they're terrible. But I've fed a lot of Africans with string beans. Yeah, I'm ethical, and not a billionaire. So maybe that's why I'm ethical. Yeah.
Take notes.
Yeah,
Musk.
Send more string beans.
String beans. Save the world.
Alright. Number 193. Is war ever ethical?
See, okay, so I'm going to just... Again... She's already asked this question, right? Back in Human Rights. Is war ever necessary or even reasonable? Kind of begs the question, is it ethical?
Yeah.
So we talked about is it necessary if you're on the defensive front? So that would be ethical.
Yeah.
If you're starting a war for no damn good reason, then it's unethical. So
yeah, we did nail that way, and that's perfectly so.
That's thanks for going back to old questions, Krista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
255. God's sakes. 250. Easy.
Well, so that was... What was it? Ethical questions.
Yeah. The reverse of a cliffhanger. Anticlimactic.
A slope. A very small slope that we've already been to.
And on that limp dick ending.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you for coming by. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to tune in and let us know what you think of the new lighting aspect, then that'd be really cool. And we'll see you again here real soon at Smugglers Cove.
We've got episode 10 coming up, so we're going to do something special.
Something.
For episode 10.
Don't know what.
Yeah.
But it'll be here for you, just like we are.
Yeah.
I'll give you my personal cell phone number. You can message me anytime.
Yeah, text Tony.
Yeah, I'm probably awake and in need of a friend.
Did we mention the Instagram? If we did mention the Instagram, we have an Instagram account now.
We have an Instagram account up, Smuggle Hunks on Instagram. Pretty easy to find. If you know us already, then hopefully you're already subscribed or following. You're following already.
Follow.
And we're going to be putting stuff up there pretty soon, and we look forward to seeing that grow.
Yeah.
Content-wise, also, viewership-wise.
A couple things up on there.
Yeah. Get the support of the community.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I actually watched it back, and I was not as
disgusted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been face palming all week. Support of the community.
It did sound like. But
no, it sounds like an overreaching YouTuber.
Yeah, I just didn't. Where I had the cringe bar, it's gone back just a bit, but it's still in the cringe meter.
No, it definitely is. It's also because at the same time, if we don't get the support, we're also not going to be so hurt that we didn't get the support of the community. It's not like if Moncton doesn't stand behind us, we're going to be like, we've been betrayed.
Yeah, they never sent us any fucking string beans.
I want to be featured on Talent NB Instagram page.
Is there such a thing?
You're subscribed to it. One of the reasons why I was willing to hit the follow button, Caleb. Oh, Caleb follows this page. I guess I will too.
I know now. Yeah. Fucking hell. Well, I can feed you this story here. So, I had done my co-op in high school at CBC Radio.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be a journalist, so I thought. So I was like, I'll go there and practice this. And there's other tales I can tell you from this, but this is the one I'm going to tell tonight. Mm-hmm. So I had to sign in and sign out, which, common, whatever.
Yeah.
As I was doing so, I was signing out for the day. There was this other man behind me, probably 40s, something like this. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I sign out, I turn around see ya, and so I leave. I'm walking down the street, and this guy comes fucking running out after me, and he's like big, kind of bigger guy, and he's like, Mr. Man! Mr. Man! I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with his voice, for one? Like,
I didn't know they hired eunuchs.
Yeah. And, Mr. Man, Mr. Man! And so I thought, oh, maybe I forgot something so I'm checking my pockets and a cell phone, whatever, got this, that. And he gets up to me and he's like, I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, I just have to tell you, you have just the most beautiful face. I was like, oh, God. He's like, have you ever thought of doing modeling? I was like, no, not really. He's like, well, I work in modeling. Like, this is my job here, but my passion is modeling. You would make a great model.
Come to my basement studio?
Basically. So I'm like, and I think we exchanged numbers. Anyways, I started dipping my toe in this a bit. I didn't really ever think like I wanted to be a model, but part of me was like, I think this is pretty easy money. Like, let me, vet this a little bit.
Yeah, just let him tie me up for some BDSM pics. That's never gone wrong before.
Well, that's why I said dipping my toes. I wasn't tying my toes, I was dipping them. So,
in honey, for him to lick them off?
Right. In my own personal waters.
Right.
Via him. A bit of his waters, but it was majority my waters.
It was very diluted.
It was 70-30, maybe 60-40. So he kind of tells me what the process would be. It's like, you got to go get mug shots. Like, you need to have a portfolio. I know this guy who does mug shots, but it was the same guy who took all our grad photos at school. Yeah, so it wasn't, like, everything about this screams like it should be shifty, but it wasn't that shifty. So I go take the mug shots, and they're fucking lame, right? They're like in black and white, like turn my head, do this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really feeling this jives too much with who I am as a person. So
No.
I give him the mug shots, and he's like, okay. And I'd had like some pimples, and he's like telling me, not to drink milk, and like, don't eat chocolate, and blah blah blah, and stay away for like, monitor the cheese, and just fucking pump the brakes on pizza or some shit.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. Then what would have been my first job, and gets weird because if I were to peg him.
Wait, what?
If I were to. This is just too funny to word this way, but. If I were to peg him, I'd peg him as a homosexual, but he claimed that I
bet you would rather you peg him as a homosexual as well.
Yeah. So, a little play on words there, but he everything about him screamed Elton, aside from his wedding ring and his claims to have a wife. Maybe it is, he does, don't know. However...
Probably what he just says to lure you there.
Yeah, exactly. But see, I never got lured anywhere. This was what would have been my first job, would have been my first luring. And so he said, would you come judge a modeling contest? Like, as, I don't know, to familiarize myself with the scene, I guess, or some shit.
Yeah.
The modeling contest is a 14 and up bikini contest. I said no. I was like 18 at the time. I think I'd fall under the parameters if that's not like
super duper creepy for you to do.
Yeah, but
it's kind of super duper creepy that he's doing it.
It's super duper creepy that it fucking exists.
Yeah, no, we got to the root of the problem.
Yeah. So I said no to this, of course, and then he, offered some other thing. I just basically ghosted him. Like, I'm not going to deal with this. So, okay. A year later, I'm at work, and a number of my friends had to go back and do a half year. I think I told you about car accident with my friends, and so a lot of my friends flunked that half year. So
I don't think flunked would be the right term, but I know what you mean.
In essence, that was. Yeah. But it obviously had obvious circumstances.
An honorable discharge, perhaps.
Exactly. Yeah. So they were back there, serving their honorable discharge, I guess. And I'm at work, and I get this text, and it's a fucking photo somebody took on their cell phone of the fucking screen in the auditorium. So then I get another photo, the same type of deal, and then another one. The guy who I said did my mugshots, like I said, he did the grad photos. Mm-hmm. So he was there for doing that again. He was doing a little like presentation of like, I do these photos, if you want some professional grad photos, and here are some of my past clients, some of them you may recognize. My fucking mugshot, my modeling mugshot is posted up there for all my friends to see, and they kind of known the story, so they're just teasing me. They're like, dude, fucking gay, fucking lame. Anyways, so I was like, this fucking cocksucker, like, this just doesn't end, this fucking modeling scheme. So, anyways, that was kind of where it ended, almost. Years later, I was in Vancouver, and I get a text, and it's him. And, hey, like, this is blank, I'm, like, reaching out, like, how are you doing? And so I just pretended I was a foreigner who got this phone number, and I was fresh to the country, and that was kind of good fun for a couple minutes.
What I do sometimes is if I see a number, and I'm, like, on the off chance I'm going to, answer a number I don't know, I'll answer, like, Что, блядь, привет, что ты делаешь? Answer in Russian. I haven't gotten a real person yet. I always get machines, but someday it'll pay off where I just confuse someone trying to catfish me.
One more story? I got a story somewhere that's,
Okay, I got a short one that kind of plays into the creepy thing. I was walking with my girlfriend in high school. She was 16, 17 at the time. Mm-hmm. Walking in the mall, and this guy's like, "Excuse me, are you interested in modeling?" And I was like, no thanks, man, I'm ugly and I'm fat. And he's like, I was talking to her, like, well, then you shouldn't be. Like, we are minors. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that my girlfriend was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Obviously underage. Like, I know that, at that time it's perfect pickings for people who want to take advantage of young women that want to, chase the dream of being a model. But how disgusting. But I shut him down real quick. I answered not like... Yeah. Well, for one thing, I think I was stupid enough to actually think he was addressing me, because I'm like... like a dog seeing squirrels. But I was just like, no. Like, he was like part of a fucking... Obviously, like, he was standing there in the mall, like, with, like, pamphlets and shit. It's just like, this... Yeah. This should not be allowed. You should not be allowed to just fucking stand and solicit 16-year-old women to do modeling. Like, that's absolutely abhorrent, disgusting, wretched. How do you sleep with yourself? Like, I don't care if it's a Christian-based one. Now, some people would argue, like, well, it might be good words. Fuck off. But, like, I don't care how wholesome your actual intention is. Yeah. It's, like, no one's like, let's do bikini contest for Christ. Like, that's it. That's not a fucking option, buddy.
Jesus back.
Yeah, like, anyway, yeah,
anything for the second coming.
So that's... Alright, yeah, you tell your story.
So, my phone number used to be the phone number for Rama Janitorials. Don't know what the fuck it was. It was a janitorial company, obviously.
Sounds banging.
Yeah.
Sounds like...
Rama. Yeah. Rama Genitalia.
Rama Genitalia Janitors. Rama.
So, I get phone calls every now and then from people offering me, like, website or, like, we saw you in the yellow pages, yabba yabba, blah blah blah. So I would also occasionally get phone calls for people applying for jobs. So the first time I got one, I was like, no, this is not Rama Janitorials. Like, I've got this number, sorry. And when I hung up, I was like, my good fuck, that's a wasted opportunity. So for every...
It's time to fuck with people.
It's time to fuck with people. My best one was this guy's like, hey, like, I'm looking for work, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm out of the office right now, but if you want, we can meet at Elmwood, Tim Hortons, say 4 o'clock. He's like, all right, yeah, no, I'll be there. Anyways, I was like, yeah, I'll be in a white Tacoma. You just, come up to me, whatever. And I'll check out your resume. Like, I made it sound legit. I was,
as legit as meeting at a Tim Hortons parking lot and going up to their car could be.
He bought it, all right.
How old were you at the time?
16.
So he believed a 16-year-old's voice on the phone telling him to come up to Tim. Anyway,
You might have sounded a little hard-pressed from work. So
I'm just saying, like...
I was being the opportunist I was.
Probably a reason why he doesn't have work, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and a reason he still didn't get any that day. I go and park at fucking Elmwood Tim Hortons. I, at the time, owned a fucking green Acura, so I'm not in any danger. And I told him white Tacoma, like, just because it seemed like, you know, a white truck, right? Isn't there a white Tacoma in the fucking parking lot? Yeah. I watched this guy go up to this car and, you know, I'm just, like, watching it. Boom. He walks away, whatever. Nothing, like, crazy happened, but it's just, like, fate just gave me that little...
The fact that actually worked.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if that's how he got a job? Like...
Yeah, I do IT now. Like, what?
I'm imagining, too, like, you know, in, like, almost like in a show where... the Tacoma was told to go to that parking lot and wait for a guy to show up and talk to him.
Yeah.
And then he shows up and there's like just a misunderstanding. Like he ended up getting followed home and like all his documents taken away or some shit. Like it would just be beautiful.
Yeah.
So the end of the episode is...
There it is.
There it is. Thank you so much for coming by, guys. We hope you enjoyed the ending of the ending of the end. And we'll see you again here soon at Smugglers Cove.
Love you all.
Absolutely, we do.
Adios.
Увидимся. Russian word of the day. It means see you later.
Xinghao Mihoso.
You can't... No. I'm coming from a legitimate place.
Sorry, let me do... Xingwei Sikba Fihalo.
Does it also mean TikTok?
No. It means Instagram.
Ah, fair.
Yeah.
No. 2 words of the day for you.
There you go. Also Pokemon in some regions, but... You know.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
Fuck's sakes, Caleb.